Today I'm going to go through my PS Vita collection. Now I'm going to include the consoles and the games that I have all in one. I don't have a big collection of the PS Vita. I started collecting the PS Vita and I found that the games were very hard to find, and those that you could find very quickly started to skyrocket in price, which made it a very expensive system to collect for. I stopped concentrating on the PS Vita because of that and moved across to the 3DS. So my 3DS and DS collection far exceeds what I have for the PS Vita, but I still love the PS Vita, even though I've only got a handful of games for it. We're going to go through those today. Now, I actually do have two consoles, one complete in box. Now, these are both the early version. They're the PCH 1002 with the OLED screen. These are probably the preferred version in my opinion. What you get is a really nicely molded, quite rugged system with little strap handles. You've got your normal D-pad, thumb controllers, selectors, charge port, microphone port. On the back you've got a memory card slot and a game slot, plus your volume and your power buttons and your right and left switches. The back is also very interesting in that that is actually a touchpad. Some of the games feature this. Most of them don't feature it to any great extent of value, but it can be a bit of fun. One of the games that I've been told, I do have it, one of the games I've been told is probably utilises it the best is a game called Tearaway. I haven't yet played it, but it is on my list to play. So that's the console. Now, really nice console to play with. It feels nice in the hand. The rounded edges, it's really nice to loosely hold. It doesn't dig into your hand in any way at any point. Absolutely love that. Just going to run through memory cards. I was lucky enough that I got in early enough that even though these have always been expensive and remained expensive, I got a 4 gigabit card with the unit, with one of the units, and realised that I was going to need more if I was going to seriously collect for these. So I was lucky enough to purchase 64 megabit cards while they were still at, I mean, they were very expensive, but they were sub $100 each. They're a lot more than that now. And I bought two of these because I've got two consoles. In the end, I've only ever really utilised the one console. So those cards have been stored for prosperity in a little plastic case. Of course, the obligatory hardcover. The console itself fits really nicely into that with the game selection over the top and the carbon fibre feel on it or look on it. I don't know if you can pick that up in the camera. There you go, a little bit. I just think that looks really classy. First one, Dragon Crown. It's kind of like a Golden Axe type game, but mixed with a bit of a dungeon crawler feel. And you go back to base and power up your characters, and you can recruit other characters, and if they die off you can go back to base at the end and recover them or utilise as you find other characters out on the field, their corpses, you can take them back, recover them, or gain some sort of benefit from the use of their corpses. Quite a good game. I've been playing it for probably about 30 hours in total so far. Have really enjoyed it. That one I highly recommend. Uncharted Golden Abyss. This was specifically on the PS Vita. You will not find it ported to any other console as far as I expect. It has the specific utilisation of the motion control of the PS Vita for targeting when you're shooting, which is fantastic. It makes it that it flows really well for targeting quickly across instead of having to use a thumbstick or anything. You target very quickly and very accurately using the motion control. And there's also a couple of scenes that utilise that back pad sensitivity to navigate. They're a bit gimmicky. There's sections where you need to paddle a canoe, and you paddle by flicking your fingers across the back pad. A little bit awkward, but it's a bit of fun. If you just go with it, it's rather enjoyable. Now, this game, I'm a big fan of the Uncharted series, and probably number 2 is my favourite, but I have to say, this one isn't the longest game. You can play through it in a couple of sittings, and I really enjoyed it. Played that one completely through end to end. I highly recommend getting that if you don't have it already. Soul Sacrifice Delta. Haven't played this one yet. It's on my list to play. This was an import. I got this one from Play Asia specifically for the Delta. The Delta is the version that has all the additional download content already on it. So it's actually the complete version. This one I'm actually really looking forward to getting into at some point and playing that. It is. I've got a reasonably sized back catalogue of things to play, and this is certainly on it. Gravity Rush. Haven't completed this yet, but it's only on the PS Vita. Have played a fair way through it, and it's quite an interesting one. You're buzzing around this city that usual thing, bad guys are taken over, but you have a certain amount of energy where you can change the gravity of the environment, so you can fall in different directions. You can fall up, you can fall sideways by changing the gravity, and you can change the gravity for so long, and then when your energy runs out, it will cut back to normal gravity, where down is down and up is up, and you will fall to the ground. When you're landed and the gravity is in its normal state, you'll recover your meter, and then you can go again. Standard type RPG type thing, but with that really enjoyable twist. Really enjoy this one. I'm I'd say probably halfway through it, maybe a third of the way through it. Really enjoying that one. Mod Nation Races. I gave it a quick play, and it's basically one of your standard little racing games. Enjoyed it, but didn't really drag me into it. Didn't get hooked on that one, but it was enjoyable. Epic Mickey 2, The Power of Two. It's your standard Disney RPG type game, going around finding the items to get to the next area and keep working through. And this one utilises a painting in missing detail or removing it quite a bit to get from area to area, and the usual area shoot 'em up type effects, sort of like a Ratchet and Clank type thing. But it is enjoyable and it's a good little story. Hyperdimension Neptunia I'd heard quite a bit about, and I picked this one up. Problem was I didn't realise that there was a couple of different styles, and the one that I managed to pick up at a reasonable price producing perfection, turns out to be the worst hyper dimension Neptunia there is. And it will suit some people, but as far as your classic RPG storybook type game, it's a bit lacking and didn't really capture me. Tearaway. This one is still factory sealed. I haven't opened this yet, but this is the one that is stated to utilise the features of the controls of the PS Vita the most, and I'm told it is an enjoyable game. So it's one that I do plan to get into at some point and give it a go. So I will open this at some point, but it's not right up there on my list. I have others that I want to get through first. Freedom Wars. I actually love this one. It's kind of like a Monster Hunter type thing, but with mechs. So there's a bunch of mechs and you've got to destroy them and recoup pieces out of them. And you basically do it in runs, and there'll be a task to get X person to an escape gate within a certain time, or not lose how many people out of your squad, etc. But it's basically a scenario where you're a prisoner and you're trying to earn your way back to freedom. And as you do better and gain experience and level and kudos, you get to explore further areas of the prison and get more freedom within the prison. I haven't completed it yet, still working through it, but really enjoying this one. Highly recommend it if you can get your hands on it. And Persona 4 Golden. This is another one that it's now out on the Switch or due to be out on the Switch. I can't remember. But this one had limited consoles that it was available on. And PS Vita was one of the best. And I've been playing this one, really enjoying it, probably about halfway through. And unfortunately I have put it aside. I'll have to get back to it. I've been playing Lost Sphere on the Switch and got hooked into that one. So this one actually got put aside for a little while. Really good game though, no matter what console you get it on, well worth getting your hands on. And last but not least, Final Fantasy X and X2. I picked this one up and it had a code still in it. I don't know whether it's a one-use code or not, but I was able to download X2 onto the PS Vita, so I did that just in case it gets to a point that you can't get it, which is likely to happen very soon. So I do have X2 installed on the PS Vita when that time comes, and I've had a quick play of the first couple of areas and really enjoyed it, but it's obviously quite a large game, so I'm sort of holding off until I've got a section where I can really dedicate myself to this one. Big thing about this version was it was a HD remaster on the PS Vita, so yeah, that one is plays really well. I really enjoyed how it played. Controls worked really well on it. So there's two more, which are special editions. Teslagrad. Had a bit of a play of this one, and it's a scrolling platformer. I'd say it's, from what I've played of it so far, I'd say it's kind of, in some sense, kind of like a Metroidvania type thing, but still working through it. But it seems, from what I've played so far, a couple of levels of it, it seems rather dark. I picked this one up just purely by chance. It happened to be in a Salvation Army store, sitting there rather cheap. So I grabbed it without knowing anything about it, threw it in the machine, had a quick play of it, and yeah, it's side scroller platformer type thing, and basically running away from people who are chasing you. Now, this version came with a couple of things, being a special edition. So I've got a steel case. Now it's not a book; it's just a case, which the game will fit in completely with the cover. So that is quite a nice and unique little setup. Came with a pin badge and a little keychain coin, and finally it comes with a rather nifty little pamphlet saying what the controls are. Not something that I've seen in that style before, so it was a little bit unique. And then finally, it came with an art book, and the art book, yeah, like most art books, has some great pictures of the game character creation, the environment that you're playing with, and just sort of runs through a little bit about who the different characters are. It's a gorgeous little book, and I think it was, really nice pickup. You don't see much said about Tesla Grab, but what I've played of it, really enjoyed it. So that's one of my special editions. And then the other special edition that I have is Undertale, and this is a collector's edition again. Once again, I picked it up pretty cheap, stumbled across it, and it was going for a song, so I grabbed it. It's now worth quite a bit more. It has a little golden locket, which is actually quite thick, the locket, and the locket is actually has a music box inside of it. I won't open it because it's pain to get it back in. Actually, bugger it, I will open it so you can see. We'll just try and get this plastic off without causing any damage. All right, so locket, it's on a gold chain. Now I've got tape on my fingers. The locket is on a gold chain, and when you open it up, inside has a music box, which plays the theme tune. Usual thing, wind up handle on the back. I won't wind it up because you wind it up and of course it'll start playing immediately, and it just keeps playing. It plays for quite a long time, and that'll get annoying. So I won't play it for you, but that comes with it. Then of course you also get the game itself. Now this is quite a quirky game in that the idea, and you can go either way, you can kill or you can not kill, but the aim is that you don't kill anyone and you get through the game without killing anyone. Now, one of the unique things about this special edition, which I find really cool, is that it came with the collector's edition soundtrack, which is a 2 CD volume of the music, but it also came with a booklet in there, which has got the music. So if you play music, if you can read music, you can play these without having to try and figure it out or look it up on the internet. And it's got quite a few pieces of music in here. So that is my special edition collection. Like I say, I kind of got to a point where there was nothing left for me to get that was a reasonable price. And to be perfectly honest, unless it was on eBay, I cannot find PS Vita games anywhere. I never see them in the Salvation Army, pawn shops, thrift stores. They just never turn up. So the only way you seem to be able to find them is either at retro gamers conventions or on eBay itself. And yeah, the prices of the games are not cheap. So I would kind of look at these as one of the hardest consoles to collect for and one of the more expensive ones to collect for. I'm glad I've got the collection I've got. I don't think I'll sell it at any point. I'm not sure. I may. Who knows what the future holds? But it is one that I don't see growing beyond what I currently have. And I've certainly stopped putting effort into trying to hunt down games for it and moved all my efforts to 3DS and Switch. But if the PS Vita is something that you enjoy, and I completely understand why you would, because I do love it as a console, I think it's grossly underrated. Yeah, happy hunting. Good luck finding what you're after. Whether you're playing or collecting, and this is your console of choice, I wish you all the best. It was one that didn't work for me, solely just simply because of the price tag. But if you've got the funds or you've got the dedication to collect for this console, it's a fantastic console. And on that note, happy hunting.